45 pounds, 20 reps. Here's my flimsy weights.
Anytime, any place, you stand beside me and wait. I sing hallelujah. I bring my burden again to my Father and my friend. I sing hallelujah. Anytime, any place, you stand beside me and wait. I sing hallelujah. I bring my burden again to my Father and my friend. I sing hallelujah. Will you fill me here and now on this holy ground? Your peace surrounds me, hope is found right where I am now.
55 pounds, 15 reps. I felt my left knee a little bit on that one. So right at the last 2 reps, I almost stopped at 14 and I thought, no, I'll do another one. So just that squatting down, I felt it. So I'm just gonna leave it at 2 sets today. I probably should have just stayed with the 5s and just stayed with reps. That's kind of what I wanted to do. And I thought, no, let's just go heavier on each set. So yeah, I feel just a little bit. So I'm gonna listen to my body and not do any more of those. I think I was getting a lot deeper this time too than I have. I really felt my glutes pushing off the bottom, my legs flexing. I think they were deeper, so that's an improvement. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of variations that you can do if you don't have a bar. If you have a pull-up band, you can do squats with that.
I look into your face, all my fear falls away.
Depending on where you hold the band will change your tension. So if I'm holding it right here in the loop, this is going to be the least amount of tension. So if you get down here and it's kind of too loose, you can grab it lower. So I'm just grabbing the band. Right? Because you want some tension down when you're squatted down. So this will vary depending on your height too. I'm short, I have short legs, so holding the ends here doesn't give me enough tension at the bottom. But if you're tall, this is going to be up a lot higher, so it could be okay for somebody that's taller. But you can adjust the tension by how far down on the band you grab it. You can also change it by, if you did want to take a wider stance, that's going to make it a little bit harder too. You're going to make the tension more than when it's in closer. So that's one squat variation if you don't have a bar. You can also increase the tension too by putting the band underneath the step, because that raises you a little bit higher. So that's going to make it a little bit harder. So I'm going to go ahead and do a set here.
When I call on your name, you are there. Anytime, any place. peace surrounds me. Hope is found right where I am now.
20 reps. If you don't have a pull-up band or a bar, you can use dumbbells. If you don't have 2 dumbbells, you can hold 1 dumbbell. And it doesn't even have to be a dumbbell. You could hold books in your hands, up here, hold a book, hold a water bottle, water jugs, kettlebells. You can also use a kettlebell. Whatever you have, just get creative. It doesn't really matter if you're using a bar, dumbbells, resistance bands, as long as it's challenging you. To me, that's the most important part. So right now, 2 sets of this, 1 set of that. My legs are already pumped. They're already feeling tired. So I want to do another set of the bands, though. So if you want to do them along with me, whether you're using a bar, dumbbells, bands, doesn't matter. I'm going to grab a little bit lower on my bands to make it a little bit harder, a little more challenging. On this one.
Feeling in my bones, I can feel it in my veins. Hands in the sky, I can feel the winds of change. You live and you learn, and I hope I've seen enough to make something right and make up for what I've lost. I was down, but things are looking up. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make
Another 20 reps. That was 4 sets of squats, 2 bar squats, and 2 band squats. Now I'm going to move on to hamstrings and glutes with stiff-legged deadlifts. I'm going to show you with the bar, I'm going to show you with the band, and with the dumbbells. So these are stiff-legged deadlifts, so that means stiff leg. So you want to lock your knees. I call these the stiff-legged deadlifts off the top. I have 2 ways that I like to do them. You do them with a flat back off the top, and then you can also do them off the bottom, that way. We're going to do off the top, because right now I have these on. I don't get enough stretch to do off the bottom, so we're going to do off the top.
my heart feel as much as I know it should. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. Things turned around, didn't ever think they could. I'm done with the bad, I need a little bit of good. Settle in the world.
45 pounds, 20 reps. If you don't have a bar, you can do a band. I'm going to show you the bands next. So this is what it looks like with the band.
Like everything is new. Stepped on a path as much as I know it should. I wanna get high on, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much.
20 reps. And you don't have to have a step. You can just put the band under your feet and you just adjust your tension by how far down you grab on the band. You want tension at the bottom. It's not how deep you can go, because we don't want to bring in the back. You're locking your upper body in place and then hinging at the hips. Right? So you don't want to bend at the back just to get lower. It's not about how low you can go. It's about pivoting and hinging at the glutes to get a squeeze at the glutes when you come up to the top. This is the stretch. This is the squeeze. So it's kind of a tuck and squeeze. Tuck and squeeze comes from pushing this in and pulling your hips in, and you're squeezing your butt cheeks together. You don't want to force the stretch, because if you're forcing the stretch to try to get deeper and you feel the back of your knees, you're trying to go down too far. So the goal is a squeeze in the butt. So you can do the same thing with the dumbbell. You don't have to have a bar or a band. You can just hold dumbbells. Same thing. If you don't have two, you can hold one. Okay, so whatever you guys have, go ahead and pick it up. You can do this set with me. Another tip, if you're doing it with the bar, in my opinion, for myself and working with my clients, I think it's best to pick up the bar and stand up with it. And the reason is because when you stand up with it, you can get your hips and your core engaged and get everything set. So when you go down, everything's in the position that it's supposed to be in. Because sometimes if you try to start from down here, you might not have your core engaged all the way. You might be trying to lift it from your back instead of your glutes. So for me, I like to pick up my bar and come to the top. That way everything's tight and engaged, and then I can hinge from the hip better rather than trying to start from the bottom. And I think the same for the band too. When I work with my clients, I make them, they always want to start, they grab it and they always want to just start. And it's like I always make them come all the way up, get their core engaged, and then do their set. I think that's like less chance of injury too. Set number 2 for the bar, I'm going to do another set with the band too. So this is actually 3 sets. So if you're using whatever you have, this will be your 3rd set. Another tip, when you pick up your bar, if you have to pick it off the floor, make sure you're not rounding your back. I always kind of get my back flat and squat down and pick it up that way. So everything's protected.
'Cause I know it should.
I want to make it a little more challenging, so I'm going to go up from the red band to my black band. And these are Alvodes, ALLVODES. I'll put a link in the description. These are my favorite pull-up bands because So far, they're the only ones that they're a little more stretchy and they're more rubbery. They're easier to hold on to, but they have a little bit more give than some of the others. Some of the others are like slicker feeling, and they just, I don't know, they just don't feel like these. These are my favorite ones. Same thing for these. If you're grabbing down pretty low to create more tension, you want to squat it up. Kind of get your back flat and come up. And then start.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do. I never think, I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump, oh what a fool. But if I fall, I will get up again.
Well, that was a little harder. 20 reps. I think I'm probably going to be sore from this workout. One of the neat things about bands is it gets harder as you come up to the top of the movement, so whatever you're training. So for the stiff-leggeds, as you come up, that tension gets harder and harder and harder, and it kind of forces you to get a really good squeeze. So sometimes you have to adjust where you're grabbing the band in the first couple, because if you grab it too low to create some tension at the bottom, it might be too hard to get all the way up. If that's the case, you just kind of let it slip through your hands just a little bit. You don't have to really re-grip, but if you have it up too high and you come down and there's a little bit too much slack, you usually have to go down and re-grip and grip a little bit lower. But that was 4 sets of stiff-legged deadlifts. All 4 sets were 20 reps. My quads and my butt are pumped already.